My friends, today we're going to take a break from the norm. We're going to have an interview with Denis Lorenzo, who most of you probably know from American Idol. But there's so much more to him as a person and his music career that I feel like you guys could learn something from. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Denis?
Yeah, so I am a top 10 American Idol finalist. I was on the show in 2018, and it was an incredible experience. I'm a father, I'm a lover of rock music, I love to cook. I feel like I'm on a dating app or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going, yeah. Long walks on the moon.
He's ready to chef it up. You know, they always say that mixing is a recipe, so
right.
We got to cook with us today. Okay, so based on that, you say that you're a lover of rock music. Like, what kind of rock music do you listen to now, or maybe what did you grow up listening to?
I was really huge on like a lot of grunge.
Okay.
Like I love grunge.
Cobain, Nirvana type.
Yeah. I mean, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, definitely Soundgarden for sure. I loved all that stuff. Pearl Jam, like it was just, super dope. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, almost, you had like The Used, My Chemical Romance.
Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking
yeah.
Like that's like
The Used, My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, all around rock, bro. I just loved it. Under Oath too, actually.
Well, regardless of what your singing upbringing was, it landed you a pretty awesome gig on American Idol.
It did.
And you want to tell us a little bit about like how you got there and that experience for you?
Yeah, for sure. So it was a really great thing that happened. But the way that it happened is not how people are used to it happening. So, you go out and you kind of audition for it, and there you are. You're in front. Either you're not, you get kicked off, or you're in front of the judges. But for me, it happened a little bit different. So I moved to, so I'm from Philly, moved from Philly to Atlanta, then here to LA. I was homeless for a while, got a job, started working in studios, working a job, and I met my homie, his name was Nico. And then I met, through Nico, I was introduced to, who's now a good friend of mine, Dave Pensato.
Okay.
And, and then
Pensato's Place.
Represent. So then Dave introduced me to a producer and his wife, and they linked me to someone on American Idol, the music director or something like that. And then they asked me to come down to audition. And that's how that happened. So, You know what I mean? So I was like working at Dave's studio a little bit. And once that introduction was made, then I got invited to come audition, and then the rest is history. So that's how I got there.
Okay. And you mentioned earlier that you have a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a big thing that people in the industry struggle with, myself included, is trying to balance your life between your music career and your social life, and obviously your family as well. So what was that like for you, doing that and also kind of being a celebrity at the same time?
Honestly, it wasn't as hard as you might think, because my family was so supportive.
Okay.
So yeah, my girl was extremely supportive of the whole thing. Actually, my old boss, so I used to work at a restaurant, a Greek restaurant, and he was extremely supportive of the whole thing. My girl went to the restaurant, they put up banners and stuff. My mom obviously flew from Philly to be a part of the whole thing and support. So it wasn't that tough. I think the toughest thing though was obviously being away from my family and not being able to do those father duties. My girl had to take like the blunt of everything, mostly. It was, there was a few trying times, late nights and not being there because you're not at home, you're in a hotel, and for days and days, you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying?
I know that life.
Yeah. So you're away from home, and it was tough, but you got FaceTime, and then I live in LA, so we still would link up and see each other when we could. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but there were a few nights where it was like, oh man, I wish I was with them. You know what I mean?
Totally understand that.
After being, together every day, and then just kind of like, so.
I'm sure a lot of people have already seen the journey that you had.
Yeah.
While you were on American Idol. But something that I'm curious about
Yeah.
is, what do you do after that? Like,
Right.
what's the next step? Because that's like one of the, you know, biggest platforms in the world for a singer to go. So like, what's next? Like, do you, I'll let you, well, I'll let you tell it, you know?
No. I mean, it's a great question because a lot of people from the show don't know what's next. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, there's contracts and stuff like that. And if you're in a contract or you get to a certain level on the show, you're in a contract and you have to either A, wait for it to run out, ask to get out, or B, or C, ride it out. After I was on the show, I found myself just trying to figure out where I wanted to go from there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still on Instagram and I'm posting videos and I'm like, okay, but something's got to give. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? Yeah. So you have labels reaching out to you for deals. So you have different companies reaching out to you for like endorsements and stuff like that. You have people reaching out to you for shows. And at the time, I didn't have a manager or anything. So all this stuff was happening at once. And I was just bombarded with like, okay, how do I attack this? What do I do? And it got to a point where maybe 2-3 months after the show, I kind of like shut down, bro. Like, I was like, man, I don't really know exactly what it is until I was in the studio and I got introduced to The Game. It was just random, the rapper.
This is how.
Yeah. I was introduced to The Game, and he was working on an album that was called, I think it was called Conversations Out West at the time, but it ended up becoming Born to Rap. Yeah. And I was in those sessions working on that. I met a lot of people, a lot of artists came through. After that, I did a lot of stuff with a lot of brands. And then I got a manager, and now here I am.
So when you say you're here now, does that mean that you are working on your own stuff? And what's next for Denis Lorenzo?
Yeah, so for me now, I am perfecting my sound. I feel like I've finally found that sound that I want. Because remember, on American Idol, it was more pop, soul-ish, right? But I told you I love rock music, so I want to add that to what I'm doing right now. It's so important for me to have that element in my music. And ever since American Idol, I've gotten a lot better with my production, guitar playing, singing, and writing. And I just kind of locked in for maybe like a year plus, just flushing out songs until now I'm at a level where I'm ready to share it with the world.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So you're saying that you're moving away from that sound of pop and soul, going more into the rock field, right?
Yeah, I mean, really meshing them together.
Okay, so one could say that his transition game's crazy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell to be notified when we put up new content. And if you're enjoying this so far, make sure you give it a like. One thing is that you would think that, I had reached out to you or something like that, but we just ended up meeting just in LA, just off the cuff, like randomly, because he had recognized the logo from JST. So what were you familiar with from JST? Like, I'm curious about that.
So I'm actually familiar with the gain reduction plugin.
Okay.
That is like, I started working on a lot of trap music, right? So in that world, that plugin is very popular from what I've noticed. Okay, and I saw the t-shirt and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So I was just like, hey, let me see what's up. I worked with a lot of different companies, so but I just thought it was dope that you were wearing a shirt. I didn't know if you were a producer wearing it. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea, so I just was like, oh, I see what's up.
Yeah.
Musicians connected.
I sit out here and I rock my JST shirts sometimes when I'm just like out in public. It's just a thing, So about the gain reduction plugin. Have you heard of Howard Benson vocals?
I have, yeah. I had heard of that plugin, yeah.
What I think would be really dope, if you're down, is if you would do a little demo of something that you're doing and testing it out with Howard Benson vocals and maybe a couple other JST plugins.
Absolutely, for sure.
All right, let's do that.
Let's make it happen. Let's get it. They told me to share the love, but I said no. What a bad decision. I know how dear this is to all of you. They said don't be bitter.
just be better. So I took that to the head. Don't be bitter, just be better. They'll not wave a damn thing for us. Don't be bitter, just be better.
That was honestly amazing. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing that story with us. One thing that I want to say, you know, even though this isn't about me, is as an artist, I'm always struggling to find what the next step is. And I think that a lot of us, even somebody of Denis's level, we're all just trying to find a path for ourselves so that we can solidify what it is that we want to do. And his story is so inspiring that I just want to say to everyone out there and all of our watchers, like, don't stop the grind. Like, he's gone to pretty much the highest platform that a vocalist can go to, and he's still working. He's still going hard. So while you're sitting there in your bedroom and kind of, you know, feeling down on your luck, just never give up. I don't know. It's just a very touching message to me, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. You got any last words for them?
Same thing, you know, keep it going, never stop. You know, this is not it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know, we've been at this for longer than you probably think we have, and your favorite artist has been at it longer than you think they have. You know, so keep it going. Don't give up. Believe in your music. You know, take people's criticism and take people's ideas and you know, all the advice that they give you, but you know, believe in yourself. Stay true to you.
If you're an engineer on the come up, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. You only have to do it one time, and tap that bell for notifications so when a video drops, you know the location. Until next time, I am out of here. Mic drop. Except as engineers we know, I'd never really drop this thing because it get really expensive. Later.